pushed.
Hello, we are live. The button has been pushed. Yellow button, not the red button.
I think it's
So
green.
is it green? Oh, the button's green. The light is yellow.
Yeah,
See, it's
something
right.
like that.
It's right. Oh, you can't even see me pointing. It's right there. Um. Okay. So we are live, and I have not been drinking enough yet, but it's hang out in the crib. We've got our usual crew here today. I'm the BP professor, and we have Hef
Howdy.
and Tito
Hello, everybody.
and Disturbed God.
Yeah, hello.
It used to be Disturbed One.
I did. I changed it. I had to one up King Ewok.
Okay. I was that recent?
It was 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, we got a release today, and Hefe scrambled and put together some slides, which is awesome. And we're going to talk about all the changes. So I'm going to start the slides, and we'll get right to it. Okay. First bug fixes. This first one's pretty good. I know this one was really hurt people sometimes. That ship would, some in-game change would happen, and a ship would become overweight, and then they'd be stuck. Players wouldn't. Only thing people could do to it was scrap it. So now you can actually refit an overweight ship, which is nice.
Yeah, so as opposed to divorcing your wife, you can just put her on a diet.
Yeah, that'll work out well for you.
Yes. Good thing I'm not married.
All right. Concussive damage now shows as 40% instead of 39% on the Frostburn. I'm sure we're all really excited about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Speeding up the repair of a damaged mega module after moving your base to a new world would result in an SOS. If you continue to experience this issue, it should clear next time your base is moved. I'm not quite sure about this problem, but anytime I try and do anything to my mega at this point, I get an SOS. So I don't know if that's this. I haven't yet tried to put something on my mega ship now, but I've been stuck for a week. Not that I've been really excited about loading up my mega anyway. Okay, so next, fixed a rare bug where refitting a ship could incorrectly. You can move a refitting ship to storage, and then it would screw up the refit.
Never happened to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It happened to me a few times.
Really?
You go to refit and suddenly it disappears. It doesn't show anywhere. You have to go out of base, get back in. You find it on your shipyard, and you have to refit it again. But before you do that, you get a source, so you have to re-enter twice.
Weird. Okay. And then fix some spelling and grammar mistakes. I'm sure there'll be more. Don't worry.
I was so tempted. Next time they do that, I'm going to start, creating typos in that when they do it, just to add, a little extra flair. But go ahead. I think we're done with the bug fixes. It's too bad we had so many, and I couldn't have a girl trying to fix a Volkswagen bug this week.
No room for the hot chick.
Yeah, hot chick with a Volkswagen bug.
It's a damn shame.
It is a shame.
Okay, so VXP weekend starts tomorrow, as usual after the raid. So you get unidentified raiding fleets that give a little bit more VXP. Elite salvages and salvage fleets now pay up to double their normal XP, which is 20 for killing and 20 for dying. And then Legion Assault Forces and 2 new Reaper Armadas. So choices, and I guess we'll have to see if they pay out, big windfall kind of VXP or just okay VXP.
Tomorrow, Larry, or in 2 days' time?
Thank you. 2 days time. Friday.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who's tomorrow, but okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep drinking.
Okay. He's gonna drink himself back to real time.
Yeah. Maybe I can skip tomorrow if I drink enough. Okay. So I think there's some changes. Do you have the? Yeah, we got.
The next slide it will be the changes to the Reaver Armadas, which is a little bit sort of scary. I'm wondering what they're going to do.
Right. So no more death weapon, which is interesting because the death weapon kind of pissed people off. It kind of leveled the playing field, though. It said, you're going to take pretty much a set amount of damage from every target, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, we'll see that.
And no matter how bad you are at driving, you pretty much can take the same damage no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
So then now no more subsonic cavitators either. Stealth detection on scout ships will now trigger movement, but NPC ships will only fire underwater weapons on detected ships. I don't
know. I don't know what the change is there. I mean, Doom has gone into his Yoda speak on this one because I always thought that once their sonar saw you, they were going to move anyways. So I'm not really sure what the change is there because it appears to be status quo.
Yeah, I don't know if this has to do with the coin collecting mortars or what.
But the scouts didn't fire those. It was only the Hulks and the motherships that would fire that.
What?
Right.
The torps?
No, the hunter killer mortars / converging coin collectors.
Converging coin collectors. So that's
Yeah. That was mothership and Hulks, not scouts.
Yeah. So it's a little bit odd, and I wish at sometimes he would just say what the change is.
And then, so in addition to explosive surface weapons, and those again are very likely the converging coin collectors.
Yes.
So ships are equipped with concussive torpedoes and special new explosive torpedoes.
Yes. And as we'll talk about in a minute, the concussive torpedoes were actually a mix. They were also had some amount of explosive damage. So I'm assuming that, once they started removing these things, that the special new explosive torpedoes are going to be doing a lot of damage.
Well, right. I mean, the point of the previous raid format was everybody's going to take damage. Nobody's getting a free lunch unless you hit a target in slow repair. I mean, people were doing that, but you're not.
Or you use ghost crawlers and only kill them down to 90% and then crawl around the target.
Well, yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. Yeah. You have a ghost crawler.
I do.
And Chris has got 2.
I only have 1.
Okay. All right. You can move on. I'm sorry.
No, it's yeah. So the question is, right, if they take out the death weapon, what's gonna start hurting you in these targets? They're not gonna say well-driven subs do these targets for free, right?
No, because well-driven subs, historically, the way you, at least what I would consider well-driven subs, performed worse than historically what we, like how somebody would drive a Spectre back in the day or a Nighthawk. Those would perform worse So it was, yeah, it was a whole paradigm shift as far as sub-driving if you had the Hellwraith.
Yeah. You, and for those who have been out of the loop, that method is get damaged, get into overload, and then keep getting damaged, so you stay in overload. You take less total damage. So, I'm sorry, Hefe, you said we got another slide?
Well, it's the other slide. The next slide, I just wanted to transition between what the new targets are going to look like, because the assumption is that these new VXP targets are going to be the new S targets.
Yeah.
Or at least testing for the new S targets.
Well, yeah. So this is right. This is going to be interesting for a couple of reasons. I guess one is, yeah, maybe it's a raid preview. Two is we have ships to rank, and so how are they going to do? Right. I've got 2 Hellwraiths and a Ghost Crawler I want to rank, among other things. Are they going to be able to blow through these targets or not? So there you go. Okay, well, I'll move on unless any of you guys have anything else you want to say about VXP Weekend or the new targets. Thoughts?
No.
Okay. So let's look at the old targets. Hefe, why don't you talk this?
Sure. I put together 2 slides. After the Friday show, I was talking about what was going on with Dark Alliance, and the person that's creating these said it'd be great to have these on the show, and so I decided to show the whole table he provided on the types of damage we're taking from the 100 targets, including the range, the salvo, the reload, and everything else. There's a lot of information here. So what I tried to do, and I guess one of the things you should notice is in the pink zone, towards the left-hand side, that these ships, pretty much you need to use concussive, and a few of them, corrosive will do a little bit of damage, but it's basically meant to shut down anything but concussive. They definitely don't like radioactive. I'm not sure they thought people were going to use cyclones, because you see, in addition to the 95% defense, they're adding 27,000 deflection. So I would be interested.
That should be antipodes, because cyclones don't have that shockwave damage.
No.
What?
That should be for the antipodes, because the cyclones just do 1,000 shockwave damage.
Yeah, it's right. 27,000 will soak up antipode shockwave.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, though, basically they're meant to shut down any sort of launcher or anything like that. So I guess they had a special fear of those. And what I was trying to do, the other interesting thing that, a lot of this stuff is talking about what's happened in the past. Prior to this, these type of targets, the Hunter Reaver Mortar, for example, in Prize Pack 5, had 1,000% accuracy. It's down to 80, which allows evade to have some sort of action going on, but I still wouldn't recommend it, because all the rest of it is splash damage that doesn't account for, putting evade on is just open yourself up to additional kinds of damage, unless you do something really tricky.
Yeah.
But I guess we can go on to the next slide, where I tried to break this down into what are these kind of damages, how these kind of damages are going to deal with a Hellwraith with different types of armor. And as you see, based on those numbers, the big thing that you can see is all the avoidable damage was minimum damage. All the red negative numbers is minimum damage. So the need to have concussive at this point didn't seem to be a big deal. As you see that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Hefe's trying to convince me that my concussive armor on my Hell Race is a bad idea. And
No, I mean, a lot of people are talking about it because it makes sense that the primary weapon type, the avoidable damage that takes a little bit of skill to get around, would actually do some damage. I'm not trying to convince you in particular, but I'm just wondering if they're going to change it, if they're going to flip flop on this.
yeah, it's an interesting question, right? Because my argument when I was building the ships was, well, if I use concussive armor, it builds decently quick, and it'll help me out if I screw up. And what these numbers are showing is it doesn't matter, because whether I used concussive or explosive armor, I'd be taking minimum damage either way.
Yeah, I mean, and the only thing that really makes a difference is your repair efficiency.
Yep.
Unless, on the concussive. And so I just wanted to show you that. And again, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results, because they may change all this. And I just wanted to and I just wanted to show everybody what we were just dealing with and why you saw what you may have seen. And also to show you a little bit that the impact of being on overload may have as far as your damage reduction. That how efficient it might be to hit multiple targets while you're in overload, stay in overload, and only get those death explosions while you're in overload, or the hunter killer mortar to try and get overload before you surface, could potentially save you quite a bit of repair time. So that's about all I have with this. I was just trying to,
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll know more after this weekend when we see these VXP targets. On that slide, we did hint of a explosive torpedo. So, if you're armoring up your Hellwraith today, maybe explosive is the right choice. I mean, if you're going to get the same targets as last raid, it looks like it's pretty obvious that explosive is the right choice. So, there you have it.
Yeah, and not all this stuff may appear to line up just based on resistances because of the differences between some of these as far as assault deflection. Mm-hmm. Just we're not taking exactly half the damage or whatnot. The numbers may appear a little bit squirrely just because you're going from 100 to 100 on the left two columns to 160 on the right two columns on both sets of the normal and overload in the bottom table.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Forsaken mission changes. Introduce a new test target, level 102. I think we had a 102 last month.
No, the 102 was going to be introduced, but they only introduced the 109.
That's right. We never saw the 102. We have seen the 102.
But I have something to complain. I'm not sure that this is a new target. I think I have seen this target before. Not sure where, but I think I have done it a few times.
Well,
called the 107?
It was the 107 that looks like this one. I was sure that was similar to another target. I didn't know which one was.
I haven't been able to play between getting home from work and starting the show, but I've seen people posting on the Facebook groups that this 102 is just like a 107, and it's not any easier, so they say.
Yeah, they have reduced the the damage. It may not be in effect completely at this point, but they have reduced the damage by 20%. So if somebody changed the knob a little bit, it kicks and dialed it down across the board. So I get, it is a test target. So they're taking the 107 as their baseline and then trying to adjust it and see how people react to it, I assume.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, if the points go from 70 or 80,
70 millions.
I'm sorry, how much, Tito?
70 millions. I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, a little more than 70 million, down to 27. So that's almost a factor of 3. And you reduce the damage just a little bit. I mean, that's going to really hurt, right?
Yeah, because they said that we're needing like a 10, I think they said. And if you make numbers with 10, you don't get tier 5 even.
Yeah. So then the 109's coming back, and again, the 109 was more of a target where people were having the best success with the spotter and a bunch of citadels.
Yeah, I think that in a point we could say that the 109 is the target that should be, because those arc missiles were not making easy for the citadels in the past. You could play with the tank one way and the citadels the other, but that citadel that arc missile was a big problem for the fleet behind the DPS. So now removing the arc missile, I think it's fair. It's a fair move by this side.
Yeah, I think it's taken a little work to find a good tank for these 109s, but I think you're right. If you remove the arc, you've got a much better, I'll say, potential strategy to do them.
Yeah, they've definitely increased the explosive damage on them. I mean, relative to the 107. When I hit the 109s today, the outside targets appear to be the same. I'm not sure if they changed the insides at all. I've only had a chance to hit 2, but I think I was taking a little bit more damage on the inside, but I was still able to hit the outside for about, get 25 million for a little over 3 minutes of damage.
That's not
using Punishers and Harlock Citadel, and the rest being Citadels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of disappointed they didn't tune that target a little bit more, because it's so easily gutted. You can just wander around, do your whole raid, getting 50 million off of each one, and just leaving them in disrepair. And
kind of a dick move,
Yeah, no, I'm running into the problem of trying to find the ones that were intact, but that's what happened last time they removed them. I mean, that last time they put them in, is you would wander around and you had all these gutted 109s all over the place. And I just thought they would redistribute the points in some way, push them closer to the center, not put them all on the outside that were easily snipeable. But no, they didn't do that. They left all the points on the outside, it appears.
Yeah, but I guess that the points are for the damage you do to the armor points they have, and obviously the clusters have more turrets outside than inside. So suppose it's complicated for them.
Well, it's their job. They should do it right.
There we go. Taskmaster.
We are talking about Kixeye, or we're talking about another company?
Well, you know what? If I'm going to argue that these guys are professional software engineers and deserve to get paid, I'm going to also argue they ought to behave like professionals and do their job. So I'm going to be a little even-handed there.
But in this part, it's not even a software issue. It's just like we can move the points around.
Yeah, it's a design issue. Sure, it's not. It's not bad coding. It's design. But I mean, it's all software engineering to me.
We'll get into bad coding later.
Okay. Okay. And then they say the level 87 target will be retuned. I know that in the past, the 87 has done nearly as much damage as the 107 to a lot of fleets. And
But will be returned or it's already? Because I heard people hitting those and they were saying that it was more easy.
okay, so maybe they have been returned.
And I assume when you say the 87 and the 107 did the same amount of damage, you're hitting those with Punishers, right? Because if
Yeah.
you hit them with a Punisher tank and Citadels, it's not even comparable.
Okay, you could really trash at 87.
Yeah, it's all instant repair.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
I mean, as long as you break it. I mean, I'm different from I think some of you guys where I'll break it down and I'll hit like a quadrant. I'll retreat, and if it's instant repair, I'll just push instant repair on the map, and then I'll go in and hit another quadrant because it's not that much slower than move. You know, especially if you have your Citadels, just sailing around the map. You know, it's might be a difference of 10 seconds, so it's not a big deal to me. As opposed to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you get Citadel shards from an 87?
Yeah, I get both. The fragments, the tier 4 fragments, and the Citadel as well.
Yeah. All right, so that's something to think about if you're trying to get your Citadels boosted.
Actually, I have not built the Citadels yet. I think I'm 20 shards. No, 20. Well, the tier fragments for getting them to R4.
Mm-hmm. I think I got my Citadels to R3 just from doing Forsaken missions. Okay. So the 107, I think, is it still spawning?
It's
Yeah.
a spawning, but well, go ahead, Chris. I think you were going to say something.
All I said was, yeah, it's spawning.
Okay. So
Did you guys realize if it's spawning on its own or it's just alternating 109 and 107 in some irregular way? Because sometimes it shows to 107, then comes to 109. You kill the 109 and comes another 109, then comes on 107. So I don't know.
I haven't seen it. Anyway, you had another week where maybe 2 where you can do those, but that's it. So
I don't know.
if you like the 107, hit them while you can.
I don't know. I was expecting at least till the next raid for this to happen. We have both.
Yeah, I would assume after the next raid cycle, or no, after the next raid, not the next raid cycle, but
Okay.
you know, like when they switch it up every month. So a month
Yeah.
from now.
4 weeks.
That's
All right.
normally when they hit us with the new stuff.
You're right. It's much more. Okay. And then Switchblades and Counter Missile Extender showing up in the FM.
Yeah, I guess that's better safe than sorry this time for them. Last time they introduced it in the Foundry a new tier 5 hull. That time was the Citadel. They introduced it at the same time the Judgment, Mortar, and the Explosive System 4, and people was complaining because, well, both were tier 5 prices, or one more week without tokens and the like. So they introduced it this week with all the other changes.
Well, so this is still going to hold people up from getting tokens, right?
Yeah, but there was people complaining that they were introducing new prices weeks later, and this time, since I guess that in the work in progress for September there was the introduction of the Apollo as tier 5 assault hull. This must be the requirements because they show like if they were, but they don't have that icon that indicates Foundry.
Okay.
They are in the first lines of the tier 5 prices.
All right, so that's the Forsaken mission. And these are the new prizes. We got Splash Dispersal System. So this is a tactical field that you can put in tactical slots. So you can put it on a resource generator that's what, above level 8? Above level 7?
I think it's 10.
11?
Oh, 10 or 11? Okay. I'm full of bad
No, could be
information today.
Could be
aren't I?
10. The resource generators was 10. I don't know
Okay,
if the
10.
buildings will come at 10 or 11.
Yeah, so higher level buildings or resource generators or something.
Do you still have resource generators, Larry?
I have,
I have one. I use it to save the base.
yeah, I've got like an oil.
Well, yeah, I have an oil rig.
I'm not sure I have any others.
Yeah.
Actually, I was trying for a while. I was using some, and I had them in my line with my turrets with what is it? Defensive field, the resistance, the one that was giving like 25% resistance. But I scrapped those two. They weren't much good for me. So yeah, I don't have much left.
But I
Anyway.
think I can't remember exactly where I saw them. You may know the same thing, that how these stack.
Well,
Multiplicative.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
multiplicatively stacked. So it's
they show the plus
more positive than
15%.
it seems. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say the same thing, that yeah, for just 15%, this doesn't seem very good. But if you can stack a few up, and it's a pretty good range, so if you can get a lot of ships covered and a couple of these stacked up, maybe you can make a difference.
And it'd be cool to know when you get hit by mortars, what percentage are actually hitting. It's so difficult to tell by actually, watching a replay or playing, because of the high level of splash that's occurring. It seems like very few would actually be a direct hit.
I don't think any are a direct hit. I think they're all considered splash damage.
Okay.
But and these days, the splash is large enough and the spread is tight enough that I don't think any mortars are just downright missing, doing 0 damage. So, I think this is going to be at least as effective as advertised, in the sense that if you get 15% damage reduction, you're going to knock 15% off your DPS taken.
Yeah, but you need at least 3 or 4 to make this effective. And do you have the 4,000 or 5,000 energy to use it? Well, without taking in care the extra you're going to get from the specials and alike?
Yeah, I don't anymore. I'm getting pretty close to my energy limit. So yeah, I don't know if I'm really sold on these. I don't know about you guys. What do you think?
I mean, basically, all of the Forsaken mission blueprints for the last couple of months have been ho-hum in general, correct?
Yeah.
They're just in the way to get build tokens, correct?
I mean, I can see this being useful if you got a spot you can put it where a bunch of your ships are, so it can cover a bunch of them. It'll do pretty well to hold off mortars, I'm thinking.
Well, it's going to reduce by 15%,
Yeah, that also, the new Fury, it's going to reduce the damage from that by 15%, which is useful on Vanquishers that have the defense handicap. We give it a little bit of defense to splash weapons.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe. I guess we'll have to see if people start liking it.
Yeah, I guess that will be cool for those Vanquishers, he says, because normally they have a good range with those radioactive launchers, but the problem they have is that they don't have a chance to use them, especially if they are in front of one of those turrets level 7. Because they get demolished by the time that the turret dies. So I guess
that's why you don't put a turret in front of a ship.
But
with a range of 80, I just saw putting it on the side. I don't know.
Yeah.
My base, you put it on the side or behind it to project that 80 range on it. You wouldn't put it in front of it. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, but there are still many people that you can see that they have likely turret, and just behind the turret they have the ship, so they can get the whole view of the explosion, and finally they die.
Maybe they didn't
I guess
watch all
that's-
the shows like Larry doesn't watch all the shows.
Yeah.
No, but you don't need to watch shows. You just need to find any video of Ewok that he will put that in text anytime that he blows just the ships doing that.
Oh, he likes to point that out.
Yeah.
Well, that's a couple times. There's a couple times where you like complained about something and like, oh, it was on our last show when you're, just when you're not around. It's amusing to me.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I'll let you go on to the next slide unless we got something else on this one.
No,
All right.
I don't have a list.
I'll keep rocking. Solar reinforcements. So this one's kind of interesting, right? Because you look at this and you see, okay, well, it adds some armor. Not nearly as much as Permacrete, which adds, I think, 56,000 armor.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. And then you say, well, boy, it's supposed to add power. It doesn't add much power. Only 50 points of power, which is nothing, right? A turret's going to be 8,000, 7,000. You're a good turret, at least. But what this really ends up being is you can add armor, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
So that's something. And then, Go ahead, Hefe.
I was just agreeing with. I was just said, yeah. I mean, I'm agreeing with you that you need to if you actually wanted armor on that, you just need to take the plus and then add it to the inverse of the negative that you would have if you put another armor on.
Yeah, I mean, you could put this anywhere you've got open armor slots, and that includes warehouses, outposts, center island turrets. You can just start throwing this on there, and maybe eventually, those 50 points will add up, and if you use a lot of it, at least you can get, maybe not even another turret, but at least some of these other kind of specials, like a splash reduction. 20 of these, and you get another splash reduction.
Yeah, you can throw it on your warehouses, your OP,
Anti-rocket.
Yeah, but like Andrek here in the chat is telling us, remember that this has 1 day, 11 hours each.
Base parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not usually busy equipping, although right now I'm building some blunderbuss a slow way because I've been a little lazy with base parts. But, if you're not equipping anything, you might as well build some of these.
Yeah, because I've been running out of stuff to equip because I've got to wait on upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in that position a lot. So you might as well build these.
Yeah, and a day and a half is not bad at all, especially
No, I don't say that
base parts.
it's bad, especially for what it gives you. But I mean that it's going to take a while to put them all. But yes, it's a good idea to put and get that extra, because I see that many of the high level ending are getting out of energy to keep doing transformers and the like.
Yep.
Yeah, my only fear is that eventually they're going to give us an armor that we really want to use, and we'll need to de-equip them, and it'll take a couple hours to do that. But whatever. Hopefully they'll get rid of that part of the game at some point soon. As far as removing the armor in order to put something else on that might be a little bit more useful.
Yeah. All right. So maybe I wouldn't recommend coining these, but if you're not equipping anything, might as well equip it.
Yeah, it'd be something fun to do on a rainy day.
Watch the armor build. Okay. Shockwave plates. These have been kind of they've been in Huggies for a long time, right?
They've been in there since we got the first defense campaign, I believe. So yeah, it's been a while.
Right. So now we can actually finally win them. Shockwave plate 4, 5,000 shockwave deflection. Some of these Conqueror ships have a weakness to shockwaves. So I think a lot of people are looking to use this shockwave plate on their base hitters.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the my Furies that I'm building, because Antipodes will tear them up pretty quickly. So put the Shockwaves on them, and you're taking off.
Yep.
15,000 damage per Shockwave. And since the Furies don't have unreactive, it's not hard to build the Shockwave on them with Antipodes.
Yep. Okay. So good
The only
armor.
thing is that it's going to make those Furies a huge repair after that, because the Fury, I think it's 30 minutes, but once you put the weapons on it, it goes close to 1 hour. So if you put 3 of these, you are going to go how much for the full fleet? 12 hours maybe?
According to Huggies, it's 4 coins per ship, even with the full armors on it. So it's honestly not too bad.
Well, it's higher than we're used to, or it's at least higher than the Naked Conqueror hulls. So.
I mean, it's higher than I'm used to because I'm running a no armor fleet, so I don't mind spending a little extra to have my spotters have, more armor than they have.
Yeah.
And I've also been thinking of changing my name to Naked Conqueror. So thanks for throwing that out there.
Naked Conqueror. I like it. Yeah. All right. Anything else about the Shockwaves?
Nope.
Oh, they're not affected by defense handicap, in case anybody was wondering. So you can put them on the Conqueror holes and not worry about it not getting the bonus.
Excellent point. Thank you. Is any deflection? I don't think any deflection is affected by handicap.
No, but I have seen posts asking about stuff like that on the forum, so I figured I'd toss it out there that the defense handicap only affects defense percentages.
Yep. Good to know. Thank you, Disturbed God.
Yeah, the same with the base turret defense, because many people ask that as well.
Right. Turret defense and deflection. Okay.
We are recycling?
No, this is hiving.
Yeah, but
Not recycling.
doesn't remember you anything?
What?
It doesn't remember you any target you have hit on the past in a raid? That you were defending, actually? There was a raid type in which you were defending these antennas from...
Oh! Okay, yeah. You had to, go to the node and upload a virus by going near the... Yeah! Wow, Tito, I had no idea what you're talking about for a minute.
Yeah, I was confused. I thought you were talking about a different game.
No.
I think they looked a little different than this, but yeah.
Yeah, they were bigger and blacker, but yeah, I remember what he's talking about.
That's what she said. All right. So there's these Nexuses, and some people were posting pictures of them on the map earlier today, but I haven't seen any when I got on.
Look, and how bases are surrounded by the Drac bases are surrounded by circles of bases.
Yeah.
The first one I saw was in the center of the empty area between the circle of bases.
Huh. Okay. So they're not found at subsector bases.
No.
They might be. I haven't looked. I think they're found at the Drac uranium bases.
Oh.
No, by the Drac bases you find them, because I have one that is less than 1 minute. I am sighting a normal Drac base, not the uranium one.
I just looked at a regular Drac base and they're not there. But if you look at the open areas in between the 4 Drac bases that make a sort of circle, there should be a Nexus there.
Okay. I'll keep looking. All right, so what does the Nexus do? And I tried to sort of distill what Kixeye put out in the release notes, so bear with me. So what you can do is you can link a megaship to a Nexus. All right? The Nexus has up to 4 links that it can make. And then each megaship, once it starts getting linked, can also have up to 4 links. Of course, the one to the Nexus is one of those links, but up to 4 links per thing. And so once you start getting stuff linked together, that's called a hive. And the links are shown as green lines on the map, apparently. So you, per node, either a ship or a Nexus, you can have up to 4 links. Choose an open slot. If a slot gets taken between, you choose it and your ship gets there, then you have to pick another link. So once you're in a hive, you can be stuck there, okay? If your hive is under attack, you're stuck for a while. If you're, I'll say, in the middle of a chain, you can't break away from a hive. So I think what that means is basically if you would break your link and that would cause other ships to break away from the hive, then you can't break away. Except the alliance leader can cause other ships to break away. So special alliance leader. And I think the other thing to point out is this is supposed to be, a hive is made up of megaships from one alliance. So that's how you can be stuck in a hive. The benefits of a hive. So first benefit is if your link slots are all filled, you can't be attacked. Your megaship, that is. So you can be protected that way. Essentially, only ships with open links can be attacked. You got a bunch of them.
So you're sort of like the old tic-tac-toe show, like where you can't hit the center square.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, I'm just most of the time this is my bathroom break during the megaship talk, so I was just throwing something in there. I'll let you keep on going.
All right.
Hope you wash your hands.
I don't know, Hefe. You sound pretty old to me.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one thing, you can't be attacked. And then the other benefit is these things called link abilities. So a ship that has a bridge module, certain bridge modules, which we haven't seen yet, will enable link abilities. And link abilities will somehow mean that a ship in a hive that is under attack could be helped by other megaships with link abilities. And that's about all we know right now. So if you are under attack, if your hive is under attack, this timer starts and your hive is locked in. If the alliance musters up some more ships, then that increases the timer. But if that timer runs out, then the hive can start to break up and run away. If you're around to notice. And then also, if a ship is in combat and its bridge is destroyed, its links will break, and then that megaship moves away from the hive. Apparently, this would allow one alliance to take a node away from another alliance. I don't know if there's any benefits from that yet, but it could happen. So there you have it. That's hiving.
I think I understood that some way when they are linked, they share the bonus from those models, but I'm not sure those models are yet in game.
Right. We just don't know what those bonuses are going to be. And still, I think the biggest problem about megaships is the only point in having a megaship is that you can build a megaship. And now you have these hives, which you can use to protect your megaship. But the only benefit in having a hive is still going to be, well, it helps protect your megaship. So, it's still its own little, I'll call it silo of gameplay that doesn't bleed over and give any benefit. There's no real. It's almost like a separate game. These megaships, and I'll just say it's not fun yet. So, Kixeye's got to do something to make it fun and make it give benefits back to the non-megaship side of things, or else people are just not going to do this.
Yeah, I did a little extra research. Paul Linde, Lynde, was the most frequent center square on Tic-Tac-Toe. So I'm not sure if that helps anybody, but
Hollywood Square.
Was his megaship all built out and really badass?
I don't know. He died, a couple months after he finished doing the show. I don't know what's going on with this. I just thought I'd throw something in there.
So when he was removed from the protection of the center square, he was attacked and killed.
Potentially, that's what happened. I think
Wow.
Whoopi did it. I think Whoopi did it for a while as well,
Okay.
but I could be wrong.
Yes, you could.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm so far away.
I can see the interest. I can see the huge interest you have in those mega holes. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. It's I was keeping myself active.
Megastar.
You have to think that those kind of monkeys that are doing this, they have feelings and alike. So
Okay.
I think that's enough on megaships.
Okay.
Okay, this week's Kick's Eye Screw Up brought to you by Grimacing Lady from the Legends Football League.
I'm not sure was she going for the ball right there?
I don't see the ball.
No.
It's
Okay.
the blue one's right hand.
No, wait, that's a helmet. Oh, there's the ball.
There's the ball,
Yep.
but is she grabbing for the ball?
Looks
I don't
like
think
she's going past
She's
it.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. There may be a fumble happening or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kick's Eye Screw Up. We did our raid preview, and then they put out the raid briefing just before the raid, and people got a little pissed, and people, I think we're included in those people, that anybody above level 80 essentially had to do the S set or their points were nerfed. And you want to talk this one? Anyone?
Yeah. I can. I put the second. I put the bullets together. How much different does your base level? How much difference does that make? The technology that everybody used, the fire twisters, if you use Mimica system or whatnot, the Hell Ray, all the things that were recommended for these A sets was 5-week-old technology. So the level of your base really shouldn't matter at all, because if you're 125 or 68, if you had done the previous raid, you're pretty much equally prepared.
Yep.
So I was a little bit miffed at the fact that they decided, okay, over level 80, you're only going to receive 30% of the points as far as the damage you do on these targets. I thought it was lazy and arbitrary.
Yeah.
Well, as was said in another show by Vlad in Battle Vortex, I think it was a huge mistake from Kick's side that people following their advice, building those health rays, were punished that way. That's the first. As you said, level is nothing in this game nowadays. And besides, why the tier A or the new tier 5 was looking to punish people from low level than tier 4 or 3. That was 85. The other thing, if they are sending to the people fleets that are R15, and normally most of the people that left were high levels, they are punishing those people a lot because they might be levels 80s or 90s, but they don't have the tech from the last year or year and a half. So they are likely level 60s or 50s, and they get punished just for the number that shows on their bases. That means nothing. So I think that was a big screw up from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it upset a lot of people. I'm one of those people that, when they started the Apollo raid and they did I'm not sure how many people are like me, not too many, but you could be lucky enough. But like the beginning of the Apollo raid when they introduced assault deflection bypass, I just threw up my hands and I'm like, they're screwing me, and I don't want to participate. And I could see this is similar with certain people where like, there's no reason this should be in here. This is just a unnecessary facet of the game that just feels like a coin grab, and I don't want to participate. But at the end of the day, the raid wasn't that difficult. It was very grindy, and this made it more grindy.
Yeah.
The raid for me was boring. As the first. I think I have never got bored in a raid before that fast. I think 1 hour after starting, I was hoping to finish because I couldn't stand that target anymore.
Yeah, I was really glad I had the Ghost Crawler option.
And I don't know actually how many people participated in yours, but I have never got to be in the 1,300 with just getting because I normally just get the top prices, the tokens. This time I want to get the gamma shards because I don't have any yet. But just being 1,200 means that not many people were participating. Actually, in my sectoral list, there were 24 people that got 30 millions, but the 25 only was likely 6 or 7 millions. He didn't got any more. So was a huge gap between the 24 and the next one.
Yeah, Renato from Forsaken Council published some participation numbers at various levels, and that bit really struck me. Was you saw some percentage of people went ahead and got, I'll just say, all the prizes, all the new prizes and tokens and stuff, and then between that and like 3 million points, there's a huge just gap. There weren't many players who
30 million
middle of the road.
Yeah, and I don't know in your sector, but in mine, the numbers 90 or 100, there were just people that maybe try one target and left, but with 100 to 200 points, they didn't have any more. So I think it was a huge screw up for this set of targets if this has to last 4 months, because at least on the first one, I don't remember because I came on the second of the Apollo raids, so I don't know how went the first. I know that they screw up and they gave tokens and 3 millions away and stuff like that. But I think this one went all the same way or even worse. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the other number Renato published was just the overall participation, people getting any points at all. And usually you see a number in the mid 50,000 people playing a raid. This raid was down in, he said, I think 33,000 or so. So it was a big drop off in participation. So, I don't know whether it was this or there was just a lot of people that don't pay attention and didn't build subs. I definitely saw some of those in comms. They're like, damn it, I sent a Rhino fleet and a Punisher fleet and they didn't touch these things. Duh. I've been paying attention for 2 months, but
no, there is people that don't read forums and don't go to pages, to Facebook pages or anything like that. You can see.
Yeah, and I guess on one hand, as someone who does a show like this, you say people should pay attention, but should people really have to? Should that be the only choice to be able to succeed in this game?
Well, the thing is all you have to do is log on forums once a week. Spend maybe 15 minutes reading the forums. Lots what's going on, and a lot of people are, oh, but there's too many crybabies on forums. I don't go there. Well, you don't have to read all the posts. Just read what Doomster posts up in the general selection.
Actually, at times you have, because it's not the first time that in the middle of one of those discussions, forums on the page, halfway from the start and halfway from the end, there is something important that you want to know, and he's not copying, pasting that to the briefing or anything like that, and he could do that and help people.
I agree. I understand he does that sometimes, drops some tidbits in there, but
But that's only if you want every little bit of information. If you're just reading the release notes, you've got a general idea of what's going on. You don't have to know every single thing Kickside does.
I wrote a whole article.
Because they've been saying for months. Yeah, they've been saying for months that, subs, build them, get them, rank them. And if you weren't ready for this raid, I'm sorry, but it's your fault. You have no one to blame. It's been everywhere.
I wouldn't go that far because
unless you're a coming back player, I'll if you're just coming back into the game.
You have 2 ghost crawlers and Hellraise. I'm more worried about people that just had tiger sharks and barracudas or whatnot, the lower level subs. Because I don't know how I would have done in that raid with anything below a Hellraise.
Yeah. I mean, Tito, right? You were miserable with Hellraise. Imagine how miserable you would have been trying to do this raid with Tiger Sharks and trying to earn a Hellraise. Absolutely. If you're trying to earn a Hellwraith on your own with Tiger Sharks, ow.
Well, it depends on the level because you're kind of getting back to the level cap they did.
Maybe.
Because I think that was a guy, Bato Loco, I think is his name, and he was doing the set S with Tiger Sharks. He was using Twisted Torch, but I think that it wasn't the Twisted Torch that was helping him, because if you want to know what Doomfire means, just watch that video and you will see how he shot at the targets, at the drones, and he most of the time fails to hit them because they are fast enough. So in that, I suppose that fleet of Tigers don't have the sealed fire, so they just have the normal speed of the Tor, and he fails a lot.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Have we complained about the raid enough? I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, I guess we can keep something for next time.
I don't want to keep complaining about the raid next time. Get it all out now, Tito. Anything else?
No. Let's leave it there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I did want to say, does everybody agree that 85% of the damage in the raid was unavoidable?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we can drop it at that because it's.
Yeah.
But mostly that it was unavoidable. The biggest problem I got is that I can understand that you make a source of damage unavoidable, but the how you call it, the coiner collector missile or whatever you call it.
Converging coin collector, yes.
Yeah. The converging coiner collector, the death explosion, and that was way too, and the plasma, that was way too much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I guess we go to the good things now.
Is that Kate Upton? No.
No, it's some random girl as far as I know.
Okay. She's hot.
I mean, the only article that came with it, that she did some article for this bikini that wasn't allowed to be on Israeli TV. That's all I know about her. You can research her further.
Was that Bar Raffaele?
Potentially. You can do the Google work. I'm not gonna do all that work for you.
Yeah,
All right.
you can understand me now, George. He wants me to make good comments, and I get lost with those pictures he put me. How are you going to talk now about raid? I have other things to talk about.
Okay, Tito. All right, so breakthrough. Well, we think Doom Rooster was being a little more honest, and maybe Kixeye was being a little more responsive. This is basically about the new Forsaken mission today. So a little.
Yeah. You sent me the first message as a fail, and then I tried to, I had too much stuff going in the fail category, so I turned it into a positive.
That's nice. That's really nice. You turning that fail into a positive. That's really glass half full thinking there.
Yeah, I'm always the positive one. You know me.
Yeah. All right. Well, so maybe Doom's turned a new leaf.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I think
He
maybe
turned it
it's just
into a new leaf, or we put him on the corner and he didn't have any way to to slide away.
Unless his new belief is medical.
Does
Because
sound
this was obvious.
dead cat bounce?
Yeah.
Right?
But all we're learning from here is the fact that, you know, the 102 is getting tuned down, and they're trying to listen to people on how to tune the 102 to try and keep people interactive in the FM related to that. That's all I really saw with that. And I think she's untying her bikini. Those are the three things I learned from this slide, even though I made it.
I think you're right. Where's the rest of the pictures then?
Oh, that's in the after show.
What is that?
Yes.
All right. Speaking of after show, this is the end of the slides. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Exit presenting. And yeah, so anything else you want to talk about today, or do we want to shut down the stream and invite to the after show? What do you think?
Yeah, Jefe, would you mind posting the link? You're the only one that can.
All right. See me try 109 for the first time, maybe on the after show. We don't have anything else we want to talk about. I still have a Punisher refitting for the 109, so I'm just kind of thinking about waiting a day to start the Forsaken mission.
Yeah, the 109 is not really an issue. As long as you got Citadels. I'm not sure at the end of the day that the Vendettas are going to work out on that. Because
I have seen a few videos. My problem is I only have 2 strips, and with 2 strips I don't get enough reload to, and I have to sustain my tank too long on each of the boosters for it to be effective. But after the BXP this weekend, I guess it will work better.
Well, I have to share this one. I guess well, my dock is down, but looks like my outpost is not down. So there.
I love how it says 0% damage. That's something we need to fix.
Yeah, so useful. Let's see what actually happened.
Also, a thing I've noticed is if you attack a base and you lose medals and you check the battle log, it just says 0. It doesn't show any medals that you've lost.
Well, I just got 15 medals, so.
I just put myself back above 500.
All right, I'll share the battle log. Look at this. I won't share it live. It won't make them super famous. If you want to see my battle log, if you want to see my replay, come to the after show. I stopped 2 Furies and 3 Vendettas.
Are we ready to stop the current show and go to the after show?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, we got George.
Yep. George is...
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey,
all right, let's shut this down. Good night, everybody. Come to the after show.
Hey, ladies, if you want to see me later, I'm going to post my phone number right there, and you can do with it what you want. But for now, you can't hear my lovely voice anymore. Good night.
Try, Clay. I think you can.